So last class I was start speaking about the third unit. Okay, I was giving you basic information about crystallization, crystallography, all those things. So then I was introducing about X-ray generator and X-ray machine detectors, all those things. Okay, so we saw about the detectors, and I told you about like X-ray film. Okay, so I have shown you a picture of X-ray film where you can see that in the center you have the crystal, and the X-ray beam was falling on the crystal, and the diffracted X-rays, right? It were recorded by a surrounding film. So I showed you all those pictures in the last class, and then I was talking about the detectors, right? It's this scintillation counter. So in the scintillation counter, we have the phototube which measures the diffracted X-rays. Okay. So now we are going to see about this diffractometer. Okay. So here what I have shown you is like a diffractometer, which was generally used for for the data collection of the small molecules. This is not for the macro molecule. Okay. So hold on a second. So this type of machine, okay, so it was called like CAT4. Okay, so this CAT4 is like 4-angle diffractometer. Okay, 4-angle, right? So what is this 4-angle? That means the crystal will be rotated throughout all the angle, so that all the indices will have the will be like exposed to the X-ray, so that we can record all the indices of the crystal. All right, so that's why it's called like a 4-angle diffractometer. Okay, it was called like a CAT4. This is like very older version. Around older version means around like 90s. People used to use this kind of like X-ray diffractometer for doing the data collection of like small molecules. Okay, so the 20th century still this machine was used, but during like 20th century, like people like invented like some other machines. Okay, where we had like developed the version of the diffractometer for the small molecules. Okay, so here like basically these are the things that was like generally having in all the diffractometer. So one, you need to have like a source of radiation, and then you need to have a monochromator. So not only a radiation, okay. So radiation generator, the source of radiation generator, what it will do? It will produce the X-ray. Okay. So the X-ray suitable for the wavelength of the X-ray should be 1.54 angstrom unit, right? So that's what we saw in the last class. Okay. So we need to have like a 1.54 angstrom unit wavelength. Okay. So what's the monochromator using? So the monochromator, we select the wavelength, only the like 1.54 angstrom unit. So all the other radiation, whatever is not having this much wavelength, will be filtered. Okay, so you will have the wavelength, the X radiation which is having this wavelength. Okay, very focused X-ray beam will be allowed to hit the crystal. All right, because you want to have like a maximum information from your crystal, right? So you are trying to get the information of like atomic level. So in that case, you need to avoid all kind of unnecessary radiation. So that is what the monochromator is doing. Okay, so it will allow like very focused radiation to have like a very high like information from the molecule. Okay, and then slits to adjust the shape of the beam. Again, you need to have like a slit where you are focusing the your X-ray beam. Okay, not only required wavelength, you also need to have like a focus of your required wavelength. Otherwise, if the beam is like very wide, what is the use in that? Okay, so you don't need to have like a very wide beam. You need to have like a focused beam. Okay, and then a detector. Okay, so here you can see this is like a detector. Okay. So you can see here like a X-ray, like source, okay. In a needle, you will put a crystal, and this is the detector, okay. So then the whole compartment, okay. So the whole section will be covered by a thin foil. Okay, it's made up of metal foil, like a lead. Okay, why? It's because you don't want to the X-ray to come out of this. Okay, if it is come out of this, then you cannot work in that area. It will affect you. It will damage your cells, right? So the entire setup should be covered by a cabin. Okay, so that's why it's like in a previous day, the entire room will be like a block. Okay, entire room, even now, the entire room will be blocked. Okay, so there will be a window from the outside of the window only, glass window, so you can watch it. Okay, whether the machine is properly going on, everything is functioning well. All these things that you can do from the outside only. It is because of the safety purpose. Okay. So a diffractometer generally this kind of thing. So here I'm showing you is the goniometer. Okay. So what is this goniometer? This is where you will put your crystal. So the entire setup is called like a goniometer. On the top of that goniometer, you will have a thin needle. So this is the zoomed setup of this pin, the stage of the pin, and you have the pin. At the top of the pin, you will glue it. You take your small molecule crystal and use some glue. It will stick to this pin. Okay, it's a very thin needle, and you have to be handling like very carefully. All right. So what is this goniometer head? So here you can see like different kind of scaling, right? So here also some scaling is there, here some scaling, and then in another direction you have the scaling, right? So what is this? So this scaling actually allows you to have like a rotation of your crystal. Okay, so this scaling will help you to rotate the crystal in all three dimensional. Okay, whatever here you have seen is like only 3 scale. There is another scale, that is this one. Okay, here there is another scale. So that is why it's called like a 4-angle diffractometer. So it will not allow you to miss any direction of the crystal. Okay, in all the 4 directions, the crystal will be rotated and it will be placed. It will be placed in X-ray beam. Okay, so don't think when it is moving in this direction, the head also will move in this direction so that the X-ray beam will not hit. Okay, assume like your X-ray beam is coming like that. Okay, so if you move this thing, so it will come out of this beam. No, it's not like that. All right. actually it will helps you to have a rotation of the crystal. Okay, so this entire goniometer head, okay, so that is here, okay, where it is saying like a sample. Okay, so this goniometer, it will be here. Okay, all right. So in all types of data collection, the crystal is placed on goniometer head, which allows the crystal like orientation to be set. The head consists of like a holder for a capillary tube, which contains the crystal, two arcs for rotating the crystal, like a 40-degree in each perpendicular plane, and two Doe-Vitale sledges, which allow translation of the arcs to center the crystal and the axis of rotation. Okay, so so it is called like a 4-angle diffractometer. Okay, so whatever that I have displayed here is like small molecule. So for the diffractometer for the macromolecule, it will be having like an entirely different setup. So I think in the following classes, maybe I will show you those machine. All right. Okay. So the resolution is like very important here in the data collection. So the term, it's called like a resolution. So the resolution indicates the accuracy of your data. So remember, for scaling the object which is of atomic size. All right. So you are not scaling the object which is in centimeter, millimeter, or meter. No, you are scaling the object in an atomic size. So atomic size is like 1 angstrom unit, a 2 angstrom, 3 angstrom, something like that. So very small. Okay. So when you scale, when you want to magnify the object which is at the atomic level and you want to see that, right? So in that case, if the resolution is not clear, you will say object of only approximately. All right. So when you have like a very high resolution, then you can say like atomic level arrangement, atomic level setup. Okay. So even though you are using like X-ray, okay, to study about the molecular properties, so still, okay, so you are able to, normally you are able to get a data of like 2 angstrom, 2.5 or 3 angstrom. Okay, so like 2 to 3 angstrom, which is like reasonable. Even though like 3 angstrom, it's called like a normal data. So 2 angstrom, 2 to like 1.5, something like that, it's like a high resolution. So less than 1.5, around like 1 angstrom. Okay, so it is the atomic level data, very high resolution. Okay, so how can you measure the resolution? By seeing the density. Okay, what is the data actually? So the data is the representation of the electronic arrangement, right? So when you have like a atomic level resolution, you will get the density of like this. So you can see here, this is like a water molecule. Okay, so you see this water molecule at the atomic level, you are getting density accurately around the water molecule. Accurately around the water molecule. Okay, so you go little bit like 2 angstrom. Okay, so even though it is having like a water molecule density, it's not that accurate compared to the atomic level, right? So here very sharp, the density is very sharp, but here the density is little wider, right? Here you can see it's like still wider, so you will not be able to like clearly say where the water is located. Here you can say, right? So here if you still go like the low resolution, 3 angstrom, very low resolution, right? You see the density of the water molecule, right? It is scattered. It's too much scattered. And you see the density for the phenyl ring here. The density is like average kind of density, where it is showing the place of all the atoms. Little bit high resolution, so the density is getting sharpened. But atomic level resolution, if you see the phenyl ring, each atom is represented by its own density, right? In the center, there is no density at all, which is saying that each atom is having very clear-cut density. So the resolution is important. So correspondingly, you see the reflection. You see the diffracted data from each resolution. So at a low resolution, the scattered intensity, right? The number of available scattered intensity is very less. Whereas here is a little bit higher. Whereas in the atomic resolution, you could see a large number of reflection, a large number of scattered reflection, so which will help you to indice very accurately. All right. So this is the advantage of the having high resolution data. So don't think like when you have like low resolution data, right? So you are saying like low resolution data, the electron density is not like accurate, so it is not useful. No, don't think it. Okay. So here the resolution, okay, 3 angstrom is very good data, but the accuracy at the atomic level accuracy, you cannot speak at the atomic level by using the low resolution. But still, you will get the entire structure of the protein or macromolecule. All right. So this will help you to indicate, to identify the all the side chain of your molecule. 3 angstrom data, you can easily identify all the side chain of amino acids. Even you can find out the ligand molecule. Okay. But when you go still lower resolution, 4 angstrom unit or 5 angstrom unit, something like that, then there is no use. Maybe 4 angstrom or 5 angstrom unit may be useful for like for doing like electron microscope, something like that. All right. So that is the basic difference between the electron and the X-ray diffraction. So when you speak about diffraction, X-ray diffraction, you are talking about like atomic level. But when you go to the electron microscope, you will see like average kind of data. All right. So this is like a overall rough idea, okay, about like diffract, X-ray and electron microscopy. Okay. Students, you are following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Say yes or no, yeah? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, that's good. All right. So now, how the crystal is assembling? Okay. So there are like 7 kinds of crystal system: monoclinic, clinic, orthogonal, okay, rhombohedral, cubic. So something like 7 kind of crystal system is there. So far we have observed proteins or like any molecules crystallizing only within this kind of 7 crystal system, only within this 7 type of symmetry. All right. So beyond this 7 type of crystal system, so far we have not identified. Okay. So when I told you, we have the crystal names. Okay. When it is like a crystal, it will be like a properly arranging, right? So when you have like a crystals, right? So the crystals, it will form like a uniform layer, one by one. So you will have one layer, and then you will have another layer, another layer. So like that, you will have like a proper arrangement of the crystal. Okay. So if you have like any irregular arrangement, okay, what will happen? So you will have like a crystals like formed in like one layer will be formed in one direction, another layer will be forming in another direction, another will be forming like in another direction, right? So as a result, you will have like a twinned crystal, right? You will not get like a single crystal, right? But you need to have like a proper crystal, okay? So then, so when the crystal is forming out of this 7 symmetry, out of this 7 system, okay? So when the crystal is forming, okay, so this systematic arrangement will not have like any gap between like each packing. So when one unit is like formed like this, another unit will be formed adjacent to that. So having no gap between that. So it will be having like a very tightly packed. So not like that. So you have like one unit like this, another unit is like this, but between that you have some gap. Then another unit is like that, again some gap here. No. The crystal will not form like having like any gap. So here you can see. So one unit is there, then immediately like another unit, then another unit, and so without gap here, right? So here also you can have like a pattern like this. There is like another pattern like this. So even like hexagonal system, the crystal can be packed, right? So when you form like a hexagonal system, you can see there is no gap between like adjacent molecule. But in like 5-fold symmetry, here you can see, right? So this is like 5-fold symmetry. So one unit is there, another unit is there, fine, third unit is there. So fourth unit, you will not be able to coin here, right? So in any orientation, you place, there will be a gap. Here also there will be a gap, right? So what will happen if you have a gap when the crystal is forming like this, having like a gap in between each unit? Is it possible? No way, because you will have certain molecule here, and you will have like another molecule here, or half molecule will be here, another half of the molecule will be in this unit. When you have like a gap like this, how it will form? So it is going to break the molecule or what? No way, right? So this kind of like zigzag thing, it is not allowed. Usually it is not observed. So here you can see like different kinds of shapes which will not allow you to have like a proper packing, proper assembly of the crystal. All right. So just see this, like this kind of thing is no way. Okay. So but this is having like a proper pattern, and you will have like a proper formulation of like periodic lattices. Okay. Do you understand this, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this one, the geometrical arrangement, I will come back to you. Now I am giving you like overall idea about this. Okay. So there is a mathematical proof for like 5-fold symmetry. Okay. So that we will see in the following classes. So right now, you just understand. Okay. Only in the crystal formulation, there will be a like periodic lattices. Okay. There will be no gap against like each. Okay. It will be a tightly formed system. All right. So assume here one unit, okay, a unit lattice. All right. So assume it is occupying one molecule. Okay. So we call it as a unit cell. So unit cell is a smallest unit. All right. So unit cell is a smallest repeating unit in the crystal. You got it?
Yes, sir.
So unit cell is a smallest repeating unit. So whatever is there, whatever content is there in that smallest part will be repeated number of times throughout the crystal. So that is the smallest part. You cannot divide that into further. If you break it, you will break the molecule. All right. So the unit cell is the smallest part which is having a molecule, okay, and it will be repeated. So the same unit will be repeated number of times throughout the crystal. Okay. So again, the unit cell, the type will be dependent upon the molecule. So some protein, okay, will be having only one molecule in the unit cell. Some protein will be having like two molecules in the unit cell. Some protein will be having like 3, 4, whatever. So it depends upon the protein. It depends upon the packing nature of the protein. Okay, so some protein may like to have like only one molecule itself, maybe two molecules, it depends. We cannot have any hand on it. We cannot order the protein. No, I want to have like only one molecule in the unit cell. No, you cannot do anything. It is on the nature of the molecule. All right. So if you have like a one molecule in a unit cell, so that unit cell will be like repeated like a number of times, just like this. All right. So, all right. So here you can see like same unit cell is like repeated throughout the protein. Okay. So what is this actually representing? So within this unit, I will have like a proper amount of the atoms. So same kind of atom will be in another unit. Same kind of atom will be in another unit. Okay, in all three-dimensional orientation, in x-axis, in y-axis, in z-axis, everywhere I will have equal environment. Otherwise, I can say, so between these two molecules, right? So between these units, there will be some interaction. Okay, so here also I can have some kind of interaction. So here also I can have some kind of interaction. Okay, so I will have interaction to this molecule, to this molecule, to this molecule. So you can see like three different arrows, three colored arrow, blue, green, red. So these arrows will be repeated for all. Okay, so that means if one molecule is having like some interaction, so the final molecule also will be having like this kind of interaction. All right. So three different types of periodically repeating interactions will be there. So don't think only three types of interaction. You cannot say. Okay. So sidewise on the bottom around the protein molecule, you will have like equal number of interactions. Okay. So that actually this helps us to what? to have a proper folding of the crystal, properly making the crystal of the protein. Okay, so when you have like a proper, the molecule will be like properly packing so that you will have like a very nice crystals. Okay, so here, so crystal structure with different unit cell origin. Okay, the origin is shifted here. Do you note down? So here, the origin is here. This one. Assume like this is the origin. O, 0. So I have the molecule here. Whereas in this crystal structure, the origin is not this one. It is shifted. The origin is shifted. Okay. So in the previous case, you have the origin, you had the entire molecule here, but in this case, right? So in this case, the origin is shifted, 0 prime. Okay. So what is that meaning? So this unit cell in previous case, in this case, this unit cell had like an entire molecule, entire single molecule. Whereas here, it's not like entire single molecule. I have like only top portion here, right? And the bottom portion here. It's like a fragmented. Yes or no? Is it clear or what? No, not at all. It's not breaking the molecule. Okay. Here, the packing is in a different order. Okay. The packing is like in a different origin. So as a result, okay, it looks like the same unit cell, okay, the same unit cell looks like into broken. Okay. So whatever it is, the volume of the unit cell will be same. The content of the unit cell also be same. Okay. So if you arrange these fragments, you get the entire molecule. All right. The same thing, same kind of interaction that you can find out here also. But the origin is shifted. Okay. So previously, when you have the origin like 0 here, when the origin is here, you have like entire molecule. But you are shifting the origin. Okay. So just assume you are moving this window to this point. Okay. So when you move this, you will have only this portion on top. Okay. And you will have correspondingly the other portion will be having at the another corner. Right? Yes or no? So the origin is shifted to O prime with the molecules displayed into fragments within the unit cell boundary. Okay. So this is same as middle, but displayed into like 4 molecule. This is not like a 4 molecule, only 1 molecule in the unit cell. All right. Don't assume it is, since it is fragmented, this unit cell containing like 4 molecule. No, it is having only 1 molecule. All right. So I have shown you like 2 kinds of example. Unit cell having 1 molecule, okay, as a proper origin, and the origin shifted. The origin is shifted. The molecules looks like into fragment, but still the molecule is only again 1 molecule. All right. So now you can see another packing. So any kind of packing is there. Okay. So here another kind of packing. Okay, this one is representing only 1 unit cell where you have 2 molecules. Okay. So these 2 molecules are having 2-fold symmetry. So this is like a oval kind of shape, this oval shape. All right. Sorry. to this oval shape. All right. So it indicates two-fold symmetry. That means you are rotating. You need to rotate like 180 degree. So if you rotate this molecule 180 degree, you will get this one. So these two molecules are related by two-fold symmetry. So two-fold rotation of the molecule results into another symmetry, okay, which is like P2. So related so it's a related molecule. So with the cell dimension change, so now the cell dimension will be changing. Why? It is because you are accommodating two molecules in the same unit cell, right? So previously we saw one molecule in one unit cell, all right? So if I want to have like two molecules of this size, all right? So I want to have like two molecules. So I cannot accommodate just with one unit cell. Yes or no? I have to enlarge this in another one direction. So the cell dimension will be changing here. With the change in cell dimension, I can accommodate like two molecules in a unit cell. Just hold on a second. So here, so two molecules in the asymmetric unit and are related with like two-fold. Comparatively, this molecule is tightly packed, okay, and you will have like a less amount of solvent molecules and result in like a very nice resolution. Okay, so here I am using another term like called like a asymmetric unit. Okay, so what is this asymmetric unit? So I will tell you. Okay, so this unit cell is a symmetric unit. Okay, so you will have like a symmetric relation with another unit. You will have like another symmetric relation with another unit. Okay, in all three directions. Whereas asymmetric unit, you will not have like any kind of symmetry. All right. So here you can see it's a four-fold symmetry. So similar arrangement with four molecules in the asymmetric unit. So same unit cell, not same unit cell. So again, like one unit cell, you have four molecules now. So each molecule is related by 90-degree rotation, right? So previously here two-fold rotation, so oval shape. So two-fold relation between these two molecules, all right? Whereas here it is four-fold rotation, 90-degree rotation. So each molecule is right related by 90 degree. So here I have one molecule, rotate 90 degree, I will get this molecule. Rotate another like 90 degree, I will get this molecule. Rotate another 90 degree, I will get this. Rotate another 90, I will get this one. Okay, so single, now I want to accommodate like four molecules. So again, the cell dimension will be like changing. The cell dimension will be changing in all directions to accommodate all the four molecules here. Okay. So this here, okay, the smallest object need to generate the whole unit cell. Here, the smallest object, okay, needed to, so I want to have like four molecules in unit cell, right? So in this arrangement, I want to have like four molecules in the arrangement. So this smallest object. So need to generate the whole unit cell, this whole unit cell. Okay, by applying crystallographic operation, symmetric operation, which is called like a asymmetric unit. All right. So is it clear, student? So here, this is the smallest like object. Okay, I need to have like a two-fold rotation to make the entire unit cell. So this is called like a asymmetric unit. Is it clear or not?
So in the picture, is it showing 4 unit cell or 1 unit cell?
Hello, students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, the power went off, so entire system gone off now. It took time to restart and to reopen the meeting, everything. So, is it clear? So, I want to tell you, like, unit cell is the smallest repeating unit, but asymmetric unit, okay? So, the asymmetric unit, you need to have like crystal symmetry to produce the entire unit cell, which cannot be further divided. All right. So, unit cell is as like a repeating unit. Again, the asymmetric unit will be like a smallest object, smallest portion within the unit cell, okay, which cannot be further like divided. Okay, so you need to have like sometimes like a two-fold symmetry, okay, sometimes like three-fold symmetry. All right, so to produce the unit cell, so it depends upon like a crystal packing, depends upon the protein molecule. Okay, so that is what I was trying to say using these examples. Okay, so what I want to say is like you can pack like in any fashion, any order. Okay, so I told you the origin is shifted. Okay, so sometimes the origin may be shifted along the axis. So you will be having axis here. Half of the molecule will be on this side, another half will be on this side. Okay, so the molecule packing can be on anywhere. All right, so we need to find out that. Okay, and there is another symmetry called this non-crystallographic symmetry. Okay, so here in the asymmetric unit, you will have like a crystal symmetry, like two-fold symmetry, three-fold symmetry, four-fold symmetry, something. In non-crystallographic symmetry, alright, some object will be there in one part of the asymmetric unit. You cannot find out the same part in another asymmetric unit. Okay, if there is any symmetric molecule, it's called like a non-crystallographic symmetry. It cannot be created by doing any kind of symmetry, two-fold symmetry, three-fold symmetry, whatever. It will be found only in that part of the symmetry. Okay, if such symmetry is like found in the molecule, it's called like a NCS, non-crystallographic symmetry. All right. So these basic things that you should understand. Okay. So maybe with this I will stop here. So you have like next hour, right? The next hour you have class or what?
Yes, sir. We have All
right. So afternoon.
Sir, we have Java class and Java lab.
So tomorrow. So like last week, we will have tomorrow afternoon our class. All right.
So we have a Java class. Last week we had a C++ lab to 10:30. So I think this week also we'll have it at the same time. And other than that, we don't have any extra class.
So tell me the time exactly. 10:30. You want to have like 10:30, 11:30?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank
sir,
you, sir.
Yes.
sir, I mailed you regarding internals, whether it is possible to have it on internal next week.
So when do you want to write? Next week you want to write?
Yes, sir. Friday.
Next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll have a test on next Friday. Alright?
Yes, sir. Portion, sir.
So whatever I am completing up to Friday.
Okay. Up to next week Thursday only, no, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.